And we are back with the fourth segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this fourth segment, we are going to be talking about Giannis playing for a completely different team. Now, this is not for NBA basketball. This is for Olympic basketball. As we know, Giannis is not an American citizen, but he is known as the Greek Freak for a reason. He is from Greece. That is his nationality. The Greek national head coach Vasilis Spanoulis confirmed on June 1st that the Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to play for Greece in the 2024 Olympic qualifiers, and these games will be set between 24 teams. They will compete in the 2024 FIBA Olympic qualifying tournaments from July 2nd to the 7th in the cities of Piraeus in Greece, Riga in Latvia, and San Juan in Puerto Rico, and Valencia in Spain. And all 24 teams have been divided into 4 8-team tournaments. Each winner of the four tournaments will qualify for this year's Summer Games in Paris, in France. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Greece are slated to play in the Piraeus tournament in Group B. Greece will face the Dominican Republic on July 3rd and Egypt in July 4th. If Greece ranks first or second in Group B, then they will advance to a single elimination game against either Croatia, Slovenia, or New Zealand in the semifinals. Now, Antetokounmpo has never represented Greece in the Olympics. The last time Greece qualified for the Olympics in basketball was in 2008 in Beijing, and Giannis Antetokounmpo last represented Greece in the 2022 Eurobasket. Now, the decision to play for Greece comes after a disappointing ending to the 2023-24 season of the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks were eliminated by the Indiana Pacers in 6 games in the first round of the NBA playoffs, and Giannis did not play at all in the playoffs due to a calf injury he suffered against the Boston Celtics in April 9th. Now, in our opinion, it was not safe for me to be out there because I couldn't run full speed. This was what Giannis Antetokounmpo had to say one day after Milwaukee's season ended with a 120-98 Game 6 loss to the Indiana Pacers. I could run only 30 to 40%. Even now, I can't run full speed. I'm probably going to take a few days, weeks, whatever, months. I don't know how long it'll take until I get back to whatever I need to get back to. And that is basically all that was said in that quote. The 2023 and 24 season was still a historic season for the two-time MVP. Antetokounmpo was named All-NBA First Team and became the first player in NBA history to average at least 30 points per game and shoot 60% from the field in a season. So, obviously, not having him on Team USA is a huge disadvantage for the entire rotation. And, I mean, having Giannis on Team USA, that would be a blessing, and that would be like one of the craziest crossovers ever. However, he is not going to be swayed like that. Not going to be swayed like Joel Embiid, because if you guys remember from a few months ago, Joel Embiid already decided to confirm himself playing for Team USA, and the French national team was was really unhappy with that decision. They really wanted Joel Embiid to play for Team France, and it seemed like, he gave them their word. He gave them his word that he was going to play for France, but then towards the very end, he decided to play for Team USA, and that sort of ruined the French's plan of sending out Victor, Rudy Gobert, and Joel Embiid on the same roster. I mean, that would have been like the craziest lineup to ever run in all of basketball. But thankfully, Joel Embiid is on the United States side. But now that Giannis isn't on our side, it's like, it's really like opening our eyes and showing us just how many players in the NBA aren't American and still one of the best. I mean, again, Luka, Giannis, and Kyrie, he played for Team USA, but he still he was also like from Australia, and also Nikola Jokic, he's another member that plays for a that doesn't play for Team USA, and he's one of the best players on the planet. Then like obviously there was Luka, then there was, and a lot of, obviously most of the players that are really good are going to be from the United States, but there are much more players that are good that are from overseas. I mean, there is also Dennis Schroeder, who is from Germany, who is playing basketball here as well. There was also several other NBA athletes that were playing overseas way before they were even playing in the NBA. And I mean, there was also, Manu Ginobili. He was another example of international basketball players. Pau Gasol, Mark Gasol, like, those basic players, obviously those guys are they're very popular overseas, and they're very popular in their little basketball clubs. And usually, sometimes within these basketball clubs, a lot of these international players play some of the best basketball. Like, I mean, there was also Patty Mills, who I believe he plays for Australia. And when he was playing for the Australian team, he was playing a lot better for the club than he was in any sort of competition with basketball, like in the NBA. Like, he was playing better on the club team than he was playing in the NBA, which doesn't, it seems a little bit odd, but then when you think about how most of the time these players are going to be playing with other players that they've been playing for years with, which is why Patty Mills, like, he feels a lot more comfortable playing with those players because he's played with them a lot longer. That's why he's sort of that's why he has that sort of that touch on the team. That's why he's been playing a little bit better. That's sort of the big reason as to what so if that's going to be the case, imagine just how good Giannis is going to be when he plays for Greece. How good maybe his brothers are also going to be playing a lot better when he's on the Greece national team. Who knows? I mean, like, those guys, they're ridiculously tall. They're just insane. There's some crazy talents, and I mean, obviously Giannis is one of the best talents in NBA basketball and in basketball in general, and really just going up against him in the Olympics, it's probably one of the least satisfying things to do in all of basketball, because it's like you can't beat that. So with that, we are out of time for this fourth segment. So now I will go ahead and go into the fifth segment. I'm really running out of things to talk about now, because now it sort of seems like, I mean, again, like, there's nothing to really talk about. So now I will go ahead and talk about some news that's brewing over on Twitter about Kevin Durant and how he was at a club practicing his jump shot, because apparently that's what you do at a that's what you do in the video clip, and that's what he sees. That's what we see him doing in the club and in the areas. I have no idea like why this is the most popular thing that's happening in basketball now, but it is. So we'll just talk about that, and we'll talk about Team USA because Steph Curry had to comment on that as well. So I will be right back after this short break.